Hello. In this tutorial, we're going to learn about the bubble sort. I've traced it out in Java, but if you're learning another language, that's fine, because the algorithm will be the same from language to language. First, let's talk about some important facts. What the bubble sort does is it goes through the array and compares adjacent values and then swaps them if they're in the wrong order. The bubble sort is easy to implement, but it's inefficient. In worst case scenario, it'll perform at O of n squared. A bubble sort will traverse the list n minus 1 times. So that means if you have a list of 5, it'll traverse the list 4 complete times. There are some variations that make the bubble sort more efficient. For example, one common variation is it'll stop going through the algorithm if it realizes that it's completely sorted. So you may not have to go through n minus 1 times if it's already been completely sorted before that. Let's look at the code for a bubble sort. So here we have a method bubble sort. We get the length of our array and store it in n. Now we've got two for loops. So this outer for loop is the one that goes through n minus 1 times, n being the number of items in the array. This inner for loop traverses the array and swaps indexes with the one after it if they're out of order. So you can see this checks if they are out of order. So it compares what's in index j with what's in index j plus 1. If the one in index j is bigger than j plus 1, which it shouldn't be, it swaps the values. So now let's run the code. So we start by calling the bubble sort method. We pass it an array of ints. I've called that array. So we have the array variable on the stack, and it points to the actual array object on the heap. If you want to learn more about how Java memory management works with stacks and heaps, please click on the video in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Next, what we do is we declare a variable n and set it equal to the length of the array. So in this case, the array is 4, so we're setting n equal to 4 here on the stack. Next, we're going to start the outer for loop. We're going to declare int I and set it equal to 0, put that on the stack. Before we continue the for loop, we're going to check, is I less than n minus 1? So n minus 1, 4 minus 1 is 3. 0 is less than 3, so we keep going. Now we do the inner for loop. We declare j and set it equal to 0. We continue the inner loop as long as j is less than n minus I minus 1. We don't want to quite go to the end because we're comparing the index we're looking at with the index after it. So if we went to the end, we would try to compare this index with the one after it, and there is no one after. So that's why we have the minus 1 part. The minus I part is we don't go completely to even the second to last one each time, because we're going to start getting sorted parts of the array, and we have to look at a smaller and smaller portion of the array each time we go through. And I'll demonstrate how that works in a little bit. So right now, j is less than n minus I minus 1, because n minus I is 4, minus 1 is 3, so j is less than 3. So we keep going. Now we're going to compare, is what's in index j greater than what's in index j plus 1? So what's in index j is 3. Is that greater than what's in index j plus 1, which is 9? It's not. It's false. So we don't do this code. We don't swap the values because these are already in the correct order. So then we get to the end of the internal for loop, and we increment j to 1. So now we're going to check, is j still less than n minus I minus 1? It is, so we continue. So now we're going to again compare, is what's in j greater than what's in j plus 1? Now it is. What's in j is greater than what's in j plus 1. So these two are out of order, so we're going to have to swap them, do this code here. So we start by copying the value from j into a temp variable. So now temp equals 9. Next, we copy what's in j plus 1 into j. So we moved a copy of the 1 into here. And now finally, we set j plus 1 equal to what's in temp. So now we've swapped out these values. We'll continue, go to the end of the for loop, increment j by 1. So now j is 2. We check, Is j still less than n minus I minus 1? It is. So we continue the internal for loop. We check, is what's in j greater than what's in j plus 1? It is. So these two are out of order. So again, we swap the value. We set temp equal to what's in array index j. We set array index j equal to what's in j plus 1. And then we set index j plus 1 equal to temp. So now these two are swapped out. We'll finish this cycle of the internal for loop and increment j to 3. So j is 3, n is 4, minus I is still 4, minus 1 is 3. So 3 is not less than 3, so we terminate this internal loop. So now we've finished a full run through of the internal for loop. So at this point, this last index is completely sorted because we've been through once, so we've moved the biggest number to the last index. So we don't even need to consider this because the biggest number is already in the right place. So going forward in future repetitions, we're only going to look at these three because this is the unsorted portion of the list. And that's why we say n minus I, because each repetition we look at one less index in the array. So now we get to the end of the for loop. We increment I by 1. We check, is I still less than n minus 1? 1, which is I, is less than 3, because 4 minus 1 is 3, so we keep going. So now we start the internal for loop again. We set j equal to 0. So now before we continue, we check, is j still less than n minus I minus 1? So j is 0, and that is less than 4 minus 1 minus 1. So 0 is less than 2. So we continue the for loop. We check, is what's in array index j greater than what's in array index j plus 1? It is. These two are out of order, so we're going to swap them out. We'll set temp equal to what's in index j. Next, we'll copy what's in index j plus 1 and put it in index j. Finally, we set index j plus 1 to what was in the temp variable. So these two values are swapped now. We'll get to the end of the for loop and increment j by 1, so j becomes 1. We'll check, is j still less than n minus I minus 1? It is, so we continue. We check, is what's in index j greater than what's in index j plus 1? It is not. These two are in the proper order, so we skip the swap. We get to the end of the internal for loop and increment j by 1. Now j is 2. We check, is j less than n minus I minus 1? It's not. So we terminate the internal for loop. So we've gone through our second full cycle of the internal for loop. So that means both the last two indexes in the array are completely sorted. So we only need to examine the unsorted portion of the array. So this last run through the internal loop is going to be real short because we only need to compare these two. So we're done with the internal for loop this time. We get to the end of the external for loop. We increment I to 2. We check, is I, which is 2, less than 4 minus 1, which is 3. So 2 is less than 3. We continue. Now we start the internal loop again. We set j equal to 0. We check, is j less than n minus I minus 1? It is, so we continue. We check, is what's in array index j greater than what's in j plus 1? It's not. These are already in the proper order, so we don't have to do the swap. We get to the end of the internal loop and we increment j by 1, so now j is 1. We check, is j less than n minus I minus 1? It's not, so we terminate the internal loop. So now we've gone through the internal loop 3 times, and we've sorted the last 3 indexes in this array. So let's finish up the external loop. So next we increment I by 1, so now I is 3. we check, is I less than n minus 1? It is not, so now we terminate the external for loop. Now we see this one appears to be unsorted. However, consider, we know the 3 is in the right place, we know the 6 is in the right place, and we know the 9 is in the right place. So if everything but this one is in the right place, this must be in the right place too, because there's only one place for this to be, so it must be in the right place. So we can say this one is sorted too. So that's how you go through and do the bubble sort. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and then leave me a comment down below. To see the next video, click on the image on the left side of the screen. To see the entire playlist for the series, click on the image on the right side of the screen. And to keep up to date on all the latest content, hit the subscribe button in the middle.